In this video, we're going to repair an iPhone 6. This is actually a live customer's phone. Okay, I'm letting it boot up right now. So you can see we have a crack going down the middle here. It's not too bad, but you can see a crack. So she wanted to get it repaired. The touchscreen does work and everything like that, but the phone is just cracked. That's all. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go ahead and power off the device by pressing the power button on the side here, holding it down, and then we're just going to slide this over, which you should probably know this by now after watching some of the other videos. And then we're going to do our pentalobe screws, right? So we have our pentalobe screwdriver again, the one that looks like a star, and we take out our 2 screws on the bottom. Okay, 2 screws. And just as always, you're going to use your iSesamo, and same thing, you're going to pop this up on the bottom right, just like this. Pop it. Pop it up. Now remember, we do not start on the left. We always start on the right. Now this one's a little stuck, so I'm just carefully pulling it apart. Something is caught on the side here. Not sure what it is. I'm going to kind of pop it up. There we go. We don't want to do anything on the left side because, again, we don't want to damage the headphone jack. It's a little more protected on an iPhone 6, but still, to be safe, always open from the right, pop it up, and then go ahead and carefully open from the left-hand side. Okay? Now, on the iPhone 6, we have a few more screws than the 5, 5S, and 5C. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws for that plate. Okay? And we're going to just start unscrewing these, and these are all going to go into our second ice cube tray. Good. Okay. Then you're going to take your tweezers, again very carefully. You're going to pop up these very gently, just slightly twist up when you're doing that. Okay. Now again, we're going to take the main part of the phone, just put that aside for now. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do first is we're always going to, don't forget, we're going to test our brand new screen. We always like to test before fully installing, because if you don't test, then you don't know if the screen was bad or not, like if you damage it. So let's test this screen before we fully install it. There we go. Turn that on. I just like to pop in the top part a little bit just to make sure it's good. So that, while that's loading up, okay, I'm going to continue on with this repair. So what we're going to do is, now we have 3 screws for the ear speaker on the iPhone 6, okay? So we're going to take these 3 screws out, as opposed to 2 like in the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 5C and 5S. And you're going to see this is a little bit different than the 5 and 5S series, which makes it a little more difficult, but it's not that big of a deal. What we're going to do, take the plate off. Now, this one has the front camera flex cable actually overlays the ear speaker, and the ear speaker faces upwards on these instead of downwards. So here's your contacts for the front camera flex cable, as you can see, and that actually goes over the ear speaker like this, and it's sandwiched in between the cable. So we're going to just pull this right out. Here's our ear speaker on an iPhone 6. Okay. And now to take this off, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of wiggle this very carefully. Just very gently. You don't want to damage your proximity sensor here. You're just gently wiggling that away so this lifts up. Then you have your microphone. Now the microphone is pretty glued in good on the iPhone 6. So you're going to carefully lift up with your tweezers, just underneath it, kind of scoop it, just scoop and wiggle away, and bam, that comes right off, okay? And this does detach completely from the iPhone 6, unlike some of the 5C and 5S where it's glued to the middle frame. Okay, next we have 6 side screws now on this, 3 on each side for the iPhone 6. So iPhone 6 has 6 side screws. We're going to go ahead and take those out using our Phillips head screwdriver, remember? Just like the other ones. Okay, so you got those, and then we're gonna take out, there's this one bottom screw here. And now we're gonna take off the home button. Now the home button is this plate that's actually holding this big plate down, so we gotta take that off first on this. So it's a little different than our 5C and 5S. So we take this plate off first. Okay, now this is a part you've got to be really careful. This is the most important part of the iPhone 6 screen repair to worry about, okay? What you're going to do first of all is you're going to pop off the little connector here. If you notice, the home button is actually got a cable that runs up the back of the frame on this and connects to the logic board this way. It isn't like the 5 and the 5C where there's two contacts and it connects to the phone, okay? That's completely different with the iPhone 6. So the home button, we can actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to heat the home button up first to loosen this up. So you're going to, this part right here, 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? I'm going to pop out the little button. Oh, it's hot. And I'm going to wiggle the loose adhesive now that I heated it up. Wiggle that away. And the button comes out like this. My store phone ringing again because I'm trying to do a video. Yeah, I'm doing this live in action during the day. Okay, now the next thing is what we're going to do. This is a very important part. This piece right here is glued to the iPhone frame very strongly. So if I pull this up, it's going to tear this little cable. So I have to heat this up pretty good because if I try to pull on this at all, that's going to damage it and then the home button won't work. And that's a real pain in the butt to fix. So we're now going to take our heat gun. We're going to heat that up for about 15 seconds. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That might not be enough, but let's see. And you're going to carefully try to wiggle this out. Nope. If it's not coming up easily, then you want to reheat it again. Don't be afraid of getting this pretty hot. Because if you tug at all on this, these cables are so tiny, it's going to damage it, and the customer's going to say, oh, my Touch ID doesn't work after, and that's a real pain. Okay? So I just rolled that up with my finger, and that came free now. Okay? So very careful. When in doubt, heat it up more than normal. Now you're only going to use 100-degree temperature for that, or a hair dryer. So don't put it super high on heat or anything like that. But make sure you do heat enough so that this comes off nice and easily. Okay, that's it. Now we've got that screen. Put that aside. Here's the test screen here. Okay, bam. It says unable to activate Touch ID because obviously we took the home button off, but it's good. It works fine. So now I'm just going to shut this off. The screen is all right. We're able to test it. Shut it off. Wait till the phone is off. Yep, looks like it's off. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop up these. Just very carefully. Okay, now remember, always pull off the sticker before we install. Okay, so you can peel that off. We're going to take our plate. Now the plate goes on top of this thing right here. You get this like flap. The plate is going to go on top of that flap like this and lays in place. We're going to, again, secure that with our 6 side screws, just like we do like on a 5 or a 5S or a 5C, except there's 6 side screws here. And the easiest way, again, is just to lay it down and screw it in. Okay, that's it. So we got our 6 side screws. Now we're going to take our home button. The home button lies in place like this. Okay, so you lie it in place first, then you're going to flip this over and make sure it's connected to that cable there. There we go. Push it in good, make sure it's connected solid. And then you're going to put this metal plate over and you're going to secure the metal plate. So it's a little different than the 5C and the 5S because we kind of changing the order a little bit around on these. We'll screw that down, and then we're going to take our last screw and put it in that one bottom part there. Okay, and then the only other tricky part of the iPhone 6 is this next part here, which is the front camera flex cable, putting this back in. Okay, because the tricky part is how it folds over like that, and sometimes newer people get confused with this. So first of all, I'm going to remove, there's a little piece of plastic that covers an adhesive part here on the brand new screen. I don't know if that's, yeah, it is. Okay. So I just had a customer walk in. The only thing about shooting these videos live when I'm running the store. Okay, so continue on. We're going to do the front camera flex cable part. So now, you're going to take the part where the microphone is and hold these cables back a little bit. That's going to lay down right here. There's a little hole that kind of slips right over, if you can see it. And you got to be really careful with your proximity sensor and the front camera flex cable, and the ambient light sensor. That lays in place like that. And then you're going to take your ear speaker. Okay, sorry, another customer came in. It's okay, so what we're going to do is we're holding down the proximity sensor here. And now we're going to squeeze the ear speaker. Is going to go in between the middle, and you're going to lay this cable right over that like this. Okay, so it should look just like that. It's going to take a little practice to get that, but just be careful not to push down with your finger too hard. You don't want to crack the camera lens or your proximity sensor. Okay, and you're going to put the plate over like this. And you're going to do this, work your way from right to left. Well, actually, the tall screw goes in the middle. Okay, so there's a shorter screw and the tall screw. The tall screw is going to go in the middle, and the other two shorter screws are going to go on the left and right side. So that's it. So now we have our screen completely done. All we have to do now is connect it. So we're going to now connect the screen this way. Okay, finish it up. Had another customer. As you can see, we're pretty busy at my store here. Keep pausing it. We were slammed today. So, okay, so we put our connectors on. Then we're going to put our plate on. Last bit. Okay, we lay our plate here. Now, very, very important. On the iPhone 6, if you put the screw in the wrong hole, the phone will break. It will damage the logic board. So, you want to lay out your screws. Okay, and you're going to look for the there's three small ones, one medium one, and one long one. You want to make sure you take one of the three small ones, and those are going to go in the bottom two holes, okay? So the small screws go in the two bottom holes. Okay. Small screws in the two bottom holes. And then the medium screw goes in the middle hole. And the large screw goes in the top right hole corner. And you're going to push this up again. You get the grooves here. You're going to push it forward, and then we'll snap in place. Again, work your way down the phone. Snaps in. Bam. Now we're just going to put in our two pentalobe screws. And I accidentally hit the power button, so there you go, the phone just turned on. Bam. And there it is, like new. All set. That was our old screen with a crack on it, and here it is with the brand new screen. All set. So that's an iPhone 6. Okay, guys. See you in the next video.